Welcome to Module 2, Asset Map Your Community. Congratulations on building your garden team. As your next step, this video will help you understand the importance of asset mapping early in the process, what different types of assets are available in your community, and how to use the information your team uncovers in the brainstorming process. For your garden to be successful, it is important for your team to asset map your community before making some key decisions in the planning process.
One of the words that's come up from when we met with all kinds of people was we need to do some asset mapping. And very simply, what we're talking about is it takes a village to grow a garden.
The planning piece, I think, is something that, that gets left out, and I think it is very important to, before starting a garden, before putting up that infrastructure, to look at all of those different assets you might have.
Asset mapping is one of those things that I always think about it in the fact that you don't know what you don't know. And everyone has different experiences, and what might be common knowledge to you and what resources you think are available isn't to somebody else.
By understanding your resources, by understanding the people, by understanding all of these great assets that exist, you can better connect the dots.
Different communities have different strengths and weaknesses, and so taking a walk about the neighborhood and the school and seeing what are the strengths and assets that this community has compared to others.
You might then uncover how many resources you actually have, and it can make the work seem a little less daunting if you just take the time to go through and uncover what you're doing.
By using that asset mapping strategy, you're able to confirm what exists and then move forward rather than hypothesizing and maybe finding out later that it's really not the case.
The garden is kind of like the smallest part of it. The community part of the community garden is the biggest part of it. And so making sure that you are including everybody in the community, and that, this garden isn't created for someone, but it's created with people.
Planning your school gardens will require some key decisions to be made early in the process. Asset mapping first will help your team see the often overlooked resources that are available in your own backyard, and stimulate creative ideas about how to leverage those resources and partnerships. So, if you need to asset map, what types of resources are your team looking for? To find the answer, we interviewed dozens of school garden coordinators, volunteers, and organizations that support school gardens. And it turns out there was a strong consensus about what assets in local communities often go overlooked in the planning process for school gardens.
People tend to support something that they help to create. So if from the very beginning you are involving a variety of people in the garden and in the garden planning processes, thinking about who are the community members that you're reaching out to.
Who are the groups that are using your space that could be a part of your garden committee and help with things as they start to get when everyone's out of school.
You want your key stakeholders within the school system, your teachers and your educators and your coordinators and your principals and your students, but you also want to involve the parents. They may be the ones that are volunteering more in the summer. You want to involve your local businesses or your organizations across the street or down the road. They have leverage sometimes for more financial opportunities or for more volunteer opportunities.
We're fortunate at Monroe that we have 21st century learning all day in conjunction with the Grub Y, and those partnerships are critical for us.
I had someone from Pick a Better Snack and the Garden Fellow who actually got my garden going, gave me advice on what to do.
A Boys and Girls Club might do some different groups and things there. Could they be a partner in your garden? They might be a great resource, especially for school gardens when they don't have school year-round.
We partner with CFUM, which is Child Family Urban Movement, and they're a before and after school program.
We were sponsored last year by Principal, as well as the American Heart Association. They have a very good part of their benefits package where they allot 2 days of community service that they promote for volunteering. The Wells Fargo Corporation does that as well.
At Walnut Hills, they've applied for just about every grant they can have heard of. They applied and got a Prairie Meadows grant. They've got a donation from Hy-Vee for like $400 in plants and other things. They talk to local garden centers. They talk to other businesses in the area that are in that line of work. They get mulch donated, they have just people cleaning out their gardens at home.
Within the planning process, some of the things in the area that we looked at were what parents do we have currently in our building that they have either a garden or a nursery or something that they could help support us with that.
You might be able to find that, we have a really strong parent outreach group, and that's going to be a huge asset for our garden program. Or we have tons of Hispanic families here, and that's going to be a huge asset because we've got this staff member who can speak Spanish really well.
We have really good connections through Keep Iowa Beautiful for resources online. We also use other organizations through the Food Corps predominantly, who then connect us to other local organizations, science literature, things like that, that help us plan for different activities regarding STEM and things like that.
That's a huge resource of volunteers that are there all year round if you're willing to develop the relationship and follow through with the communication.
You will be surprised at the number of valuable assets in your local community that perhaps you weren't even aware of. Gardening experts, retired volunteers, local businesses, local nonprofits, after-school programs, summer youth programs, people with tools, people with trucks, people with funds to donate. The list goes on and on. A Garden for Every School has tools to help you asset map your community as a team and know when the best time to involve each in the planning process. This video has its own planning guide, categories of assets to brainstorm, and description of the value each can provide to the garden. Video Training Module 2 helps in the process of asset mapping your community early in the process. Get started today. Download Planning Guide number 2 for this video. As a team, brainstorm your community assets in several categories and consider the value each can provide your school garden. Don't worry about contacting them yet. The next video module covers how to engage this list.